Hello, my name's Roland Lucas and I'm a physical therapist practicing in Sunnyvale, California. And the purpose of this series of lectures is to introduce a system of grip and forearm training that I've developed personally for my own benefit in working on my patients and with the sports I do, windsurfing, kite surfing, and I feel like it would be very useful for the general public to utilize this series of exercises. So basically we're going to do three videos probably, and the first one is going to be the one we're doing now, which is just an introduction to all the equipment that you kind of need. And I take it very seriously, and I don't think that there's, I do think it's worth the money to invest in these things for hand health and to prevent injury and to perform better. And any sport that uses your hands or grips would benefit from this. Even workers, people who do computers and musicians could benefit from this series of exercises. So we'll start off with the tools. So first thing you're going to need is some type of spongy gripping device. So it's usually soft foam, not a hard thing, not something where your hand won't move. It's got to be, you've got to have some motion. So this one is the Relaxer Stress Pack. I got it from East West Bookstore in Mountain View, California, if you're in the Bay Area. Or you could get this guy, Dog Chewed Small Kids Foam Basketball. And same thing, we've got very similar motion. Those would be equally as effective. And then you need some type of gripper. This is one that I got down at the local sports store. I'm not a fan. I think that the motion's limited and the resistance is limited, and usually they're not calibrated. This one does make an attempt to calibrate it, but it really throws off the resistance. So what we use is three basically grip tools, and two of them are made by ironmind.com. And the first one is the Captains of Crush, and it's basically designed for people who are very strong to get stronger in their grip strength. And it's actually a sport for some of these people to see how, if they're strong enough to close some of the grippers. I guess there's some of the ones they make have only been closed by 5 or 6 people in the world. But the beauty of them is they have a very even resistance through the range, and they are calibrated in terms of intensity, so you can progress from one level to the next, and you can do a hard exercise with a certain number, then drop to a lesser exercise when you fatigue. So we need those, and usually we recommend 2. Right here I've got the T and the number 1. If you are much stronger, you might be able to get away with the number 1 and the number 2. And then some people would really need the S and the T, or the G and the T to start off. And then we've got these guys. They also are made by Iron Mind. They're 2-finger grippers called M-Tugs, and they again are calibrated also. So the other grip tool we need is made by Prohands, and it's a 4-finger gripper with individual springs. This is the heaviest one they've got, I believe, at least last time I checked. It's extra heavy tension. You can see that's very easy to close for me, and that isn't demanding enough. So that's why we need to have the Iron Mind, which is much more demanding. And you're going to need more than one of those also. So this, I got a medium. So you might want to spread your range on those two. So skip an intensity, or you know what, just get all 3, because eventually you'll get stronger and you'll need it. And then the last tool for hand training you're going to need is some rubber bands. And you can use any sort of office rubber band. Again, I have this set that you can get from Iron Mind, and it is basically they're calibrated in terms of color, so you can progress. And rubber bands you buy from the store, you don't really know how intense they are, you don't know what type of resistance they give, but the ones in the store will work for most people. For example, like this red one here, it's the strongest one they've got because it's the widest. I can't even dream about using that one. Blue, I don't use it. I pretty much are just limited to the 2 lowest. But so rubber bands. And then for the hand so that's more for the hand and finger training. And then we've got forearm training, so we need dumbbells and we're going to need a range of dumbbells, probably for most people in the sort of 3 to 15 range. You know, most people would fall within that. And this is another version where you can sort of adjust the dumbbell, just put weights on here, just put plates. That saves space. And then we need some type of roller. And you know, the best thing here is, this again is made by Iron Mind. They really take hand training very seriously. And yeah, because I own a clinic, you know, I can buy these things. My patients use these things all day long. If I didn't have a clinic and I was serious about hand training, I'd be tempted. But so you've got a rope, and then you've got some type of weight stack. So you can see that's a stack of weights there. Some people just, or even me, I just put this through the handle of my kettlebell and clip it back to the rope. That'll work. You can hook it around a dumbbell, not so great, but you could do it. So that is called the One Wicked Wrist Roller, I believe. And then one more thing about this, usually we put a bar through here and we put it on the squat rack. And it's sort of stationary. And we'll see that in the, I guess, the third video. So we need that. Now if we don't want to get that, then we can just spend less money and get this guy here, the Theraband Flexbar. Not quite as good because, as with all elastic pieces of resistance, the resistance load changes as your motion changes. As you unwind this guy, the force on the muscle is less. And for some exercise that doesn't matter so much. For this one I believe it does, but you can do a lot of good with this. So that might be a good place to start. Yeah. And then we need a hammer. This is a 4-pound sledgehammer. You can most people could get away with a regular hammer from your garage, I guess. And then the last thing we use is a Dyna-Flex ball. So it's a power ball. I believe it's made by Dyna-Flex. And then this one's a sort of a light up version, and that is something that we use. That's a good forearm one. Okay, so that's about the equipment, and I would say move on to the second video and we'll look at all the hand training now. Alright, thanks a lot.